Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Season A, the platform where we speak truth to power. Good evening. Just wanted to touch base with you all. Before we go too far ahead, please go ahead and subscribe to Season A on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, and help us reach more people. We really need your support. Help us grow the platform. It's very, very important. Now, we are hearing a report that the government is charging 10 people um, with felony over organizing and bad governance protest. Keep in mind, um, we the people, we are the ones who actually elected the government into office. And so far, the government have not been listening to the concerns and the pleas of the people to actually listen to our concerns collectively. The same government, successive government, have failed to actually ensure that our refineries are functioning, and bringing down the cost of fuel prices at the pumps, the PMS. And there has been unending spate of corruption by politicians, many of whom, out of over 158 governors, maybe something like that, 128, something like that, only four have faced consequences. And even those four, they've been very, very, within a few years, they've been out of jail. This is not acceptable. Again, I keep telling you all, we need to hold our governors to account, and we have the powers to do so under Section 14.2a of the Nigerian Constitution that states sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. In English and in Yoruba, it states ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà, Section 14.2a. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ìgbàgbọ́ agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. What does that mean? It means that you have the right to hold your government to account. Now, what the government is doing by charging the people with felony because of the peaceful protest is terribly, terribly unacceptable. I'm going to read through what felony means. And that cannot be used to apply to some people who are peacefully protesting when the government is failing to provide infrastructure, roads, water, light, schools, bridges, and healthcare and safety. We're not here to abuse anybody. It's no point. We're just stating facts. Let me quickly just show you that section again before I go too far ahead. So just want to show you that. 1 second, please. Okay, I'm a little bit tired today, but we're trying to do what we can anyway. We want to carry on with this. Okay, so we're showing you this now. I wanted you to know that you have the power to hold your governors to account at all times, because you are indeed the sovereign. That's the one thing. Every one of us, we are sovereigns, and collectively we can use our powers to hold our governors to account. That is what has been lacking, and we are hoping by doing programs like this, we'll encourage one or more of us to step up, stand up, and hold our governors to account. It is not acceptable for the governors to be doing what they're doing. Again, I'll read to you Section 14.2 and 14.2c. 14.2c states, it is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. The government derives its powers and authority from you, and you have the right to hold them to account. Under Section 14.2c states, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Now, let us go and look at when they talk about treason, and I really want to address that. So what does treason mean? Let's look at treason. What is treason? Let's just put that down. Yeah, what is treason? I just want to make sure we follow this through. It's not right. Treason, the crime of betraying one's country, especially in attempting to kill or overthrow the sovereign or the government. They were convicted of treason. The action of betraying someone or something, right? The crime of murdering someone to whom murderer owed allegiance, such as a master or husband. Petty treason, plural petty treasons. Now, so you can see now that treason is really not, it's a serious affair. And what the 10 who have been charged with this treason are doing is nothing of the sort. In fact, they are standing up for the people. They are standing up and encouraging people to stand up and hold their governance to account. Very different from trying to take anybody out. They're just saying the government must provide the things that it's meant to do as a government. There's nothing treasonable about what they've done. There's nothing, and we cannot. There's no point in trying to sugarcoat this. This is not acceptable. What the federal government is doing, they've got this so wrong. And this is more reason why we keep telling you participate in your governance, hold your government to account. Let me quickly do something more on that front quickly. I want to go and get something else as well. In Yoruba, I'm going to just show you that section I read is in Yoruba language, which I have, and I want to show you again. So in Yoruba language, it states, section abala kẹrin láìsí kejì, nípa báyìí ó ti kéde pé ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀ síjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. The government derives its powers of authority from you. You are the sovereign. And when the sovereign is calling for the government to actually ease the pains, that is not treason. That is not treason. Second part of it, the power that you possess and how to use it, section abala kẹrin láìsí kejì sí ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè. Now, all the people you see in this picture, they have not committed any treason at all. They are holding their government to account. And what the government is doing is to use this is actually unacceptable, and you need to exercise those powers of sovereignty. Let me just go back and bring that again, because I really want you to understand how insignificant this is. Now, there. Okay, now, this part I want you to look at, as I'm saying it, this part here that talks about the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. The act of participation is what they've done. They held a peaceful protest demanding the government take action to ease the pains of the people. That is not treasonable. Indeed, it's their duty. But furthermore, that's just one part of the duty, peaceful protest. The second part is to actually participate in their governance. And how do you participate? By questioning. We need to be questioning our government on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, via town hall meetings. You can question them over the funds that they receive from the federal government, where the funds are going, who are the contractors, how much have they spent, what is the balance. You can question anybody in government. Your senators, you can question your local government, your state House of Assembly member, your House of Reps, your senators, your governors. It is your right. And furthermore, I will go even to say that you must begin to have monthly town hall meetings. Let me show you the checklist of one of the things that we need to bring in. I've talked about this several times, but it's worth bringing it back up again. Let me just go and bring this up for you. It's a monthly checklist. Now, time is of the essence. You cannot wait anymore. So let me go and get that up, bring it up, and show you. Monthly checklist. Let me see if it will come up, because I need you to see why we've been talking about this for a long time, but I've not seen a lot of action on this. So let me just put checklist on there. Let me see if it will come up. I believe I have it somewhere, but I want to just check. Okay, it's not showing up. There are ways to do this. Let me just check. Give me one sec. Yeah, it is obvious that because of our lack of participation in our governors have now decided that they are the rule, they are the judge and the jury on we the people, and we need to reject this categorically. I keep saying it. We need to do it. We have to have a checklist of running local area associations. Make sure you have independent local community associations all set up, independent of the government. You're running the focus of the community association is to make sure that the infrastructures in your community are provided by your government, and you have the power to hold them to account. We'll go through it. You assign members to roles of assessors of various infrastructures in your community and compile a record. 3, ensure that, I'll make this slightly larger so you can see it. Ensure the citizens have a copy of the section 14.2a and 14.2c that are recorded moments earlier and they read moments earlier in language, in their local languages. I did it in Yoruba, for example. You must have it in Igbo, Hausa language, and everything else. Thirdly, write a letter to the following elected officials: your governors, your senators, your House of Reps, your state House of Assembly members, and your local government chairman. You write a letter to them calling them to come to a town hall meeting. This meeting has to be monthly town hall meeting. You now read section 14.2a and 14.2c to the elected officials at the meeting and remind them they are there to serve the community. Then participate by questioning them on project budget, how much has been spent, who are the contractors, what is the balance, and when is the expected completion date. This must happen monthly. Monthly. You see, I put it there. It needs to be something that's happening monthly. Without our active participation and governance, what is happening to these people will keep happening. And I wanted to I'm not even going to play. There's no point in playing anything about what's going on because none of what they are saying is not going to have any validity. What I want you to do is to participate in your governance. They have a right to peacefully protest, and we are supporting that right 100%. I'm not going to dignify the actions of the government by actually trying to dissect what is clearly an illegal action. What I do want us to know is that these are the steps we must take in our community. Monthly town hall meetings is a must. This must happen monthly. When you are questioning them on a monthly basis, they have to provide answers. So far, the government is refusing to give answers because we've not been holding monthly town halls questioning the list of politicians that I mentioned: local government chairmen, state House of Assembly members, your House of Reps, your senators, and your governors. They are answerable to you and I. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I don't want to talk no long thing here. I need you to be aware of your rights as a sovereign. Exercise those rights, and you have to, you see, to change this thing, we have to step up collectively in every community. The number of people who are carrying out these injustices against us, they're not up to even 10,000. There's 240 million Nigerians as we speak. We need to begin to hold these people accountable to us through the use of our powers of sovereignty, which I'm going to show you again. You are the sovereign. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Without you, the sovereign, allowing them to use your powers to govern, they cannot govern. They depend on your sovereignty, and your sovereignty gives you powers to question them on the basis of the work they are doing on your behalf. You need to begin to monitor them daily, as stated under Section 14.2c, through active participation. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this Constitution. Part of that provision is that you are a sovereign. As a sovereign, you can question them, which is why we keep talking to you about the checklist. Independent local community association assign members to role of assessors in various infrastructures in your community and compile a record. Ensure citizens have a copy of the section 14.2 and 14.2c in their local languages, which I'm going to show you now. In this case, it's Yoruba language. You can see it. I'm going to read it to you. Abala kẹrin láìsí kejì a, ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ìgbà gbogbo ara àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So now, you need to begin to use that in your local language. Now you know this is good for market women, farmers, galvanizers, prayer parlor owners, food hawkers, street hawkers, all you name it, all manner of professions. You need to know that agbára àti àṣẹ comes from you, and you have the right to question your government. How do you question them? Abala kẹrin láìsí kejì sí ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn níjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè. That means that you have the power to participate in your governance through questioning those you elect into office. You question your local government chairman, state House of Assembly members, your House of Reps, your senators, your governors at monthly town hall meetings. That is the only way this kind of injustice will stop. So we need all communities. We need in all 704 local government areas. you must begin to hold monthly town hall meetings where all of the government officials that are listed, local government chairman, state assembly members, House of Reps, senators, and governors must attend to give account of where the funds, your funds, after all, because you're the sovereignty, your funds that you've allocated that's been on your behalf allocated by the government to those local government chairman and state house members, your House of Reps, your senators, and governors to use to build infrastructures. They have to account for where those funds are gone, because those who carried out this peaceful protest, who are organized the end bad governance, they're not there to cause disruption. They're asking questions. They are telling the government to do something to ease the pains of the people. So they must have our wholehearted support. We're not here to abuse the government, but we must ask questions. And that's why I am showing you this. Please do share this. I'm not even going to play. I was going to play the whole thing initially, but there's no point, because this is injustice right there. It is injustice. And I might come on a live broadcast and talk about the discussion about what they're asking. You know what? Let me just humor it for a second, just to humor it. Then I'll come back and reiterate these points that you're seeing here. I'll humor it for a second. I was going to leave it, but let me just do that. Let's hear what they have to say here.
10 persons accused of being masterminds of the nationwide End Bad Governance protest are in court for their arraignment. The protesters are accused of criminal conspiracy with the intent to destabilize Nigeria, inciting mutiny and treason, among others.
They are not inciting mutiny and treason. The government is not answering questions. The government is not doing what it's supposed to do. And the lives of the people are being impoverished. So they have a right to peacefully protest. Keep in mind, treason is to peacefully protest, and they're not causing anything. They have not mentioned that they want anybody. Their words and action are different from treason. Totally. Let's carry on. Let me just show you something about that treason again, because I wanted you to see treason. It says here, the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill or overthrow the sovereign or the government. They have not tried to overthrow any government at all. They are simply exercising their rights as sovereigns. They are sovereigns. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority.
After the other, they take their plea and all plead not guilty. The prosecutor applies for the defendants to be remanded in a correctional facility. However, lawyers to the defendants requested for their clients to be remanded in police custody. The lawyers equally applied for bail for their clients, as they claim that they have been in police custody for several weeks.
No problem.
Counsel to the Nigeria Police Force objected to the bail requests on the grounds of the gravity of offences allegedly committed by the defendants.
There were crises across the country, and you agree with me that properties were destroyed, some burned.
That is not the responsibility of those who carried out the peaceful protest. They cannot be held for that. People who did that, individuals who carried that out, are the ones that needs to be addressed, not try to rope the people that organize a peaceful protest to actually allow the people's voices to be heard, and the government has continuously ignored. This is so unfair, but let's carry on.
And people were also killed, and that is why these defendants were arrested, and they are being prosecuted. It's not an issue of protest. It's an issue of inciting mutiny.
They did not incite mutiny at all.
Lawyers to the defendants fault the charges against their clients.
The learned senior advocate for the prosecution, where he had already passed sentence and ruling on some of the defendants. And this is wrong. This is media trial, and this is media publicity.
It is quite unfortunate that the government that has benefited more than any other in the history of Nigeria from protest and dissent has the balls to arraign Nigerians for peacefully protesting and demand for social justice. It is trite that protest is a right, and protest can never be criminalized by anybody or any government in Nigeria.
The
Okay. He's right, very, very right, and I'm actually going to prove that point by showing you something as well on top of that. I wasn't going to go into detail, but I'm actually glad I did because it can give you a rounded picture. All the time, we're going to be bringing sections of the Constitution that gives you the rights. Section 39, section, all of the sections that gives you the right to hold a peaceful protest, and of course, we'll do that right away. Where we 1 second, please. 1 second. I'll bring it up. Let's go to my website. You can go to www.citizenay.org and you can see it on there. So www.citizenay.org. You can see, is that it there? Can you see it? Okay, I want to make sure you can see this. Okay, so we're going to type in www. I want you to see it as I'm doing it because I need you to see that. Okay, so www.citizenay.org. Okay, yep. Okay, so we're going to go to section 39. Before we go on ahead, please, I'm going to show you. You can download my song on here. You can listen to it. How long am I going to suffer on here? And download it. I'll give you the links for the iTunes and Spotify on here. In the next podcast, you'll see that. So help us grow the listenership to that song. It's very important and powerful words, and I might even play it in this broadcast. So I'll see now. Okay, so let's go to section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution. I was going to wrap up and not spend time, but actually I'm glad I'm doing that because on reflection, I wanted to give a fuller account of what should really be happening rather than the hearsay and the attempt to misconstrue the right to peaceful protest by the government council. So, every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, section 39. I'll make this bigger here. I'll actually make it bigger. So I want you to see it. Every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and receive and impart ideas and information without interference, without prejudice or to the generality of the subsection. Each person shall be entitled to his own to establish and operate any medium for the dissemination of information and ideas and opinions. So they have done nothing wrong. Furthermore, section 40. I'm going to quote section 40 again so you can see it. Every person shall be entitled to assemble freely, associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any political party, trade union, or any other association for the protection of his interests. They were simply trying to protect their interests because the government has failed to actually carry out the role that they are elected to carry out, which is to provide infrastructure, provide safety and security, the primary purpose of government, and they provided no accountability, which is what the peaceful protesters have been advocating for. So we are very clear that they have not, they are not guilty, and we support them wholeheartedly. Please, let's continue to share the broadcast and reach more people. Don't forget to subscribe to Season A1 on YouTube. So go ahead, subscribe to Season A1 on YouTube, and please, share the broadcast and let's reach more people. It's very important that that we speak up for those who are peacefully carrying out their role as as sovereigns, and demanding the government provide answers to the various concerns of the people of the nation.
Presiding judge, after listening to arguments for and against the bail application, ordered the defendants to be remanded in a correctional facility in Kuje and Suleja until the 11th of September, when he is expected to rule on the bail application and commence trial.
What they've done here is incredibly wrong. This is from Channels, obviously. What they've done here is incredibly wrong. It is not acceptable at all. It is totally unacceptable, and it's something that we should all collectively reject. Like I said, I'm going to come back to this. Like I said, you have the right to peacefully protest. It's under section. Let me just bring that section up again, and I'm probably going to close out with that section showing, because what is being done here is clearly an injustice, and we mustn't allow it. So every person Every citizen, every person shall be entitled to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any particular party, trade union, or any other association for the protection of his interest. So you have the right to peacefully protest, and the government cannot take that away from you. It's enshrined in the Constitution. And the more reason why we keep telling you to participate in monthly town hall meetings and hold the government to account. If you don't, they're going to be, trying to oppress and suppress you. So we support the 10 that have been illegally arrested, and we call for their unconditional release. We call for their unconditional release. It is very, very wrong that this has even happened in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's have your thoughts and comments on this. You are, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please share, and share. We call for the unconditional release of those of the End Bad Governance peaceful protesters. They've done nothing wrong. To charge them with treason is actually, an abuse of power by those in government. Something that we cannot condone. And we need to begin to hold monthly town hall meetings to hold our governors to account on a regular basis. That is the only solution that's going to put a stop to this kind of injustice. Please do share. Don't forget, of course, one of the things I would say is that when you start holding monthly town hall meetings, you can now use those powers. You can then use the powers of Section 60, Section 89, Section 110, and Section 188 to recall your senators, and indeed Section 188 to impeach your governors. You have that power. We must use it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are, of course, listening to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth to power about Letron. Please do share the broadcast. What are your thoughts on this? Is the government right to now charge the End Bad Governance peaceful protesters with treason? Bearing in mind, treason is a very, very strong term. It's for I'll leave you the words of treason on the screen. I need you to really look at what is being said here, and actually, you will agree with me that that's wrong. It's an attempt to sully their name. They've done nothing of the sort at all. Where is treason? Sorry, 1 second. 1 sec. Yeah, as I close out, I want you to just read the words treason. The crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill or overthrow the sovereign or the government. They are simply exercising their rights under Section 39 and 40 of the 1999 Constitution. They are not carrying out treason. So what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me that they are simply exercising their rights as laid down under the 1999 Constitution for peaceful protest, to associate freely, to voice out about their concerns about the way the governance is going, rather than this false accuser that they're carrying out treason? None of the sort. Let us have your thoughts. You're, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you, and bye for now.